Live. Yeah, no one thought that was gonna happen, even though I said I was planning to stream more. Not even me. I honestly, it is kind of late. It is kind of late. I am trying to stream earlier, and I was legitimately worried. It is kind of late. I am trying to stream earlier, and I was legitimately worried it was a little too late. But then I'm like, you know what? Just go for it. It'll be okay. You'll get your schedule under control. No big deal. It'll be fine. Just stream. So here we're going. Let's go at everyone. Fatal frame. And you know what? You know what I'm almost thinking tonight? You know what I'm almost thinking tonight? Maybe. Hold up. Hold up. Am I going to say it? I'm going to say it. I might. I'm considering doing 2 chapters instead of 1. Ooh, I know. I know. Bold. Bold decision. But we'll see how it shakes up. Maybe I'll... Maybe this one will be such a frustrating chapter that I just, I back out immediately. Yo, Tecmo reminds me about how much I want to play Deception. Second off his ass to stream. I'm thinking about it. Right. Consider half my ass on the couch right now, alright? And, the other half's off. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I could go either way, right? Fucking Schrodinger's ass. Anyway, how you doing tonight, maid? How's whatever retro game you're retroing? Chapter 6, Tsukimori's Song. Ruka finds a music box playing a melody that raises memories from when she was a young girl, spending time with her father Soya, a mask maker, and her mother Sayaka, who is not Sakuya, despite how similar their names are. Despite their names being... And I am not shitting you, literally one character away from each other. Alright, now, real quick, alright? In English, there's a 2-letter difference between these names, right? No. Sa-ku-ya. I'm wrong. Fuck you. Anyway... But no matter how hard she tries, she cannot remember her father's face. Before he returned to Ruka, her father once made a Kanada's mask. Ruka was wearing the mask when she was found after the kidnapping. In her diary, Sayaka wrote about allegations that her husband Soya had been involved in a series of events to use the girls in a secret ritual. A piano strikes a chord in Ruka's memories, a fragment of the song at the edge of her recollection. She continues onward until she arrives at a place with a nostalgic aroma, eating these nasty-ass Brussels sprouts. I like Brussels sprouts. Did you know Brussels sprouts are the same species as cabbage and broccoli and cauliflower? Probably 800 other things back then. I felt I had been here for an eternity. Your mother asked me to find you. You don't have to worry anymore. It was like it melted into nothing. It's... Your mother asked me to find you. You don't have to worry anymore. This. Chapter 9, Ruka Minazuki. Anyway, yeah, the difference between, Brussels sprouts and broccoli and cabbage is, the difference between, a Doberman and a poodle and a fucking third dog breed, a pointer. They're subspecies of each other, but they're all, the same Brasilica species. The game I'm playing is from a series you know, so you tell me. Well, here's the thing, mate. As long as the game has released an entry in the past 20 years, there's a good chance that I know every series. So, I was brought here from somewhere else along a dark path. So you have no idea how little that actually narrowed it down. Alright, let's go into our equip menu. Look at our stats. And we have reload speed. So let's upgrade reload speed all the way. So Rook is our main character. It's an MMO now. The only thing I can think of that became an MMO is Phantasy Star, Final Fantasy, or Warcraft. Is it one of those three things? No! Wait a minute. They also made a Megaten MMO. Then we're gonna go Power 1. And now, I've looked through it. We're going to play Mangog one more time, but Rook is basically our end game. I think he's upgraded all the way, because I think he was the reason we upgraded all the way. But what we're going to do, I think, is try not to buy any more upgrades for Ruka. See if he needs to be upgraded. If he does not, we are going to try and save up his upgrades the best we can to pour it all into Ruka. As for red lenses, we've only started using these recently, and I'm not gonna start to burn red lensing. All right. Now, as a reminder, Ruka, I believe, is second in the timeline? Or third? Yeah. Ruka's second in the timeline because she had to go after Madoka and Misaki. And then What's-His-Face is after that in the timeline because he was going after Ruka? No. He was going after Ruka originally. Now he's going after Kibara. So it's not clear which one's which. This game could use a time chart. I think Ruka is ahead of the detective. I think Ruka's ahead of the detective. Because she was the one that activated the elevator, I believe. This game could use charts in general. I don't know why it doesn't have one, considering Fatal Frame 1 had a chart. This game, more than Fatal Frame 1, requires a chart. I cannot get the audio correct on this. Yeah, this game needs a chart more than Fatal Frame 1, honestly. Done. You're a little bitch. Alright, what's this? What am I looking at? Phantasy Star. Gotcha. I've never played Phantasy Star, but I've seen it get played. There's a small shrine set into the cave wall. It's not important. My name is not important, but my deeds are... They were way too busy with fabric physics on the dresses. Look, fabric physics are important. It's a fundamentally important part of Fatal Frame. I just wish there was also a chart. So I was taken beyond this point. Are we going to get into the next area? I don't think we've ever gotten past this point, have we? Because this is like a dead end. Excuse me. The rocks that fall in the path is blocked. There's a small gap, but if I crawl Maybe I can get through. This is the first character to ever try crawling. Do it. You only know where to go by talking to every NPC you see or look it up. Not a whole lot of character interactions. Boy, do I know the issues of not knowing where to go. I feel like we're going further into this area, so I think we're finally making progress. I'm playing the Ages version, which is the rebalanced version. So we now know that that is Sakuya. A reminder that last time we did not learn, I think, anything at all important to the mystery of this place. Actually, I don't think we learned anything at all. I think the only thing we learned is that, like, Mia is Misaki, but Mia was not a real character other than that fact. So it still doesn't matter? Fisherman's Testament. Something is written on the paper in disorderly letters. I don't really care because the adventure of it's really fun. It's also super short, about 10 hours. Level cap is 30. Wow, that is short. That woman is coming. If that woman saw, everyone would bloom. That woman... That woman, that woman, that woman. I came here to escape all this. That woman is coming. Face. Her face is not clear. 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 Riveting stuff. Way to progress the mystery. Man, I feel like that is the fundamental clue I needed to solve this game. Now I know what to do. Oh boy, the killer was Ruka the entire time. Oh my gosh darn, it was Ruka? Who'd have ever thunked it? Fuck you and die. Hey, fuck you and die. And go ahead and fuck you and die. Oh, what happened? Oh, did you get fail framed? Oh, the little ghost got fail framed. Oh, fail frame. No, let's go. Boom! Oh, the little ghost! Oh, the little ghost can't take it! Oh! Alright, I'm gonna stop mocking the dead woman who's attacking me for no reason. The setting is definitely what sets it apart from, like, Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy, which were around the same, which were ran at the same time as the setting. It was heavily inspired by Star Wars. The guards are literally stormtroopers, and there's a weapon you get called a lightsaber. I really hate the camera charge noise in this. Oh, the... I don't hate it. It's fine. I don't got any issues with it. So I feel like I didn't gain anything by walking down this hallway other than I beat a girl's ass. Which, you know, is like Tuesday for me. Yeah. I guess you can take that however you want. I meant it in a sort of BDSM way, but then I realized that that could totally go in the other direction, and you know what? I will leave the mystery to you. How inappropriate that comment may have been. Sounds like rubbing a balloon. I hear like a zipper, but I could get balloon rubbing. Fun fact, balloon rubbing, also a fetish. Ooh, Type 90 film. Have I I think I've only changed film types once in this entire game. I mean, so the weird thing about this game, as opposed to the other Fatal Frames, is the enemies do such colossal amounts of damage, but they're like super weak. It's so weird. Why is balloon rubbing a fetish? You know what? Normally I could probably come up with a reason. I don't know. I don't know on this one. It's a thing. I don't. You got me. I don't know. Maybe it's like a friction thing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even have a fucking clue on that. Oh. Okay, so really only Misaki has the chime? Oh no, they both do. Okay. Boom! Hazuki doll! I Hazuki'd your ass. This seems like a sort of like limestone type cave. I once saw someone say socks are sexy, so anything is possible. No, okay, no, see, that makes more sense, though. Hold up. The socks thing makes more sense to me than the balloon thing. I could get socks. I mean, I think it depends on the type of socks, but I think there could be some pretty sexy socks. No, you know what? No, I could get it. I get it. You know what? I get the sock. I could understand the sock thing. I don't think that's that weird. I'll stick by the sock thing. I get it. I get the sock thing. I don't get the balloon thing. Because even if your socks are like decisively not sexy, like they're just like regular like white socks or like ankle socks or something like that, there's still like the feet implication, and then there's also people with like smell fetishes, and like I could see being like, oh man, your fucking sweaty gym socks are doing it for me, and like I get that. You know what? That makes sense to me. All right, the balloon thing is just like so fucking far and away from anything I understand. How sexy is this to me? Okay. Alright, we got here a pair... You know what? I can show this. We got here a pair of Nike branded socks. First off, these seem to be men's socks. Now, I know I like to play around, but already we're not in my wheelhouse, okay? So, honestly, not that sexy. But I would understand it. Sick! How the hell are you? I have not seen you in a hot minute. What have you been up to? We're talking about sock fetishes. What's going on? I've seen this porn before. It's something my friend would say in a situation like you just described. But yeah, no, like, look, I get it. But like, I don't know. This ain't really doing anything for me. But you get like a nice pair of like, I don't know, just some tights or something, or some stockings. All right, or maybe you get some like some cute knee highs. You know, I could see a sock thing going on. All right, I get it. All right. Now some white Nike socks like that. I don't know about that, but it's been a rough year. But I'm alive. Ugh, I feel that, brother. Now I see what mirror has got a 6. But yeah, so like I don't know. Oh, we're in here. We're in this room now. Oh, right into it, huh? Glad to see my peeps are still alive. Well, I've been streaming pretty consistently. Yeah, she's not taking damage. Alright. Get me the fuck out of this room. Well, okay, by consistently, I mean I've been streaming every week at least. Get me out of here! I can't win this fight! Ooh, Type 90 film. Well, I'm wearing men's white socks, so no fetish bait for you. No! That's my weakness! Not being appealed to sexually. Oh, that would have landed so much harder if I didn't crack up saying it. So what you been up to, Arsic? Been a rough year. Anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to talk about that's not related to the rough year? It's been a while. It's been a long while. I think the worst part of the year has been getting addicted to Fortnite. That does sound like the worst part of the year. Yes! Finally, a quote. Oh, it's been so long since we've had one. Oh. Hi? 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 I have never played Fortnite. I know, shocking. I know everyone's like, what? You've never played Fortnite? The camera in this level is fucking with me. Way too many V-Bucks. That's like the in-game Ooh! Ooh! Countered with a fucking Fatal Frame! Ooh! Ooh! You know, say what you will about Fatal Frame's combat system, there is like nothing more satisfying than landing just a clean Fatal Frame. Work sucks. Yep. Killed any and all motivation to stream, play video games that takes any sort of dedication, or even just lurk on Twitch. Oh man, that I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Overwork can be rough. My break-bearing moment where I realized I could save money shopping for the men's equivalent of the same item. Yup. You don't gotta pay that pink tax. That's why basic... Oh. Is she still invincible right now? She is indeed! That's why basic white socks and jeans are from the men's section. So I had a thing, right? All I know about Fortnite is this really creepy demi-fiend video I saw once. I had a thing... I do understand the, like, Fortnite thing in that case, like, because it's, like, a real casual game you can just drop in, drop out of. There's no, like, narrative to follow or anything, and you can just wind down and, you know, chat some shit with a 2-year-old on voice chat. I've never played it personally because it's not really my kind of game, but I get it. But as far as, like, V-Bucks going, like, I know there's, like, a big thing about, like, skins and stuff, and any sort of, like, digital good like that, I recommend instead getting... like, if you find yourself starting to get hooked on, like, digital skins like that, unless it's, like, you can specifically purchase that one skin and you know you're gonna, like, stick with it, I highly recommend, instead of dealing with, like, loot boxes or gotcha-based systems, collectible card games, because at least they have resale value. But I put on classic Mickey Mouse Santa hat from past streams tonight, dancing with the kids, and I kind of... want to do something. I get that. Yeah, Christmas is right around the corner. I just did my Christmas shopping earlier today. That's it. I did my Christmas shop. You think I would have more to say about that, but I didn't. Note left by Islander. That's not just a mask. That mask is not from this world. That mask brought the disaster to this island. The day without suffering, whether you live or die, is determined by looking at that face. But yeah, what I did is, I found myself with just an entire, like, I had so many socks, right? But, like, none of them seemed to match. So what I did was I threw out all of my socks, like, all of them. And I replaced them with a bunch of, like, identical socks I purchased on Amazon. Like, so I made sure that, like, all my socks match by making sure that I do not have any variation in my socks. All of my socks are from the same company with the exact same appearance. They all fit the same. They all look the same. There's absolutely no difference or variation in my sock style. My socks are black. I bought black socks. And the reason I bought black socks is because when you throw white socks, I used to wear light socks all the time, right? But you throw white socks in the laundry or the wash a few times, right? They start to turn colors, right? And so what I was like, okay, well, if you have black socks, you can wear them forever. Right? Until they get holes in them, which mine do. In which case, I will then just purchase new identical socks. Although I think they discontinued the type of sock I have, so I may need to find a new type of sock. But, and then I'll just, like, throw out all my old socks and I'll replace all my socks. You gotta make sure your socks match. Let's see. That ain't me. I just get whatever. I love socks. Do you have a sock fetish, Arsik? This is very relevant to the conversation. Rugetsu Tunnels Ritual. Rugetsu Island is rife with tunnels. The vassal shall consort with the ghosts. The shrine maiden shall go forth and practice in that cave 100 nights. Whether or not a miracle will be awarded is dependent on the practice of the shrine maidens. Secluded inside the womb, shielded from the moonlight while maintaining the self becoming empty. Is this a metaphorical womb or is this a literal womb? Because after passing through the death of life, they will be born again into this world, the training of the Rugetsu tunnels. It allows them to bring forth a miracle through courage and diligence. Only a person fit for a maiden of the moon shall pass the training of the Rugetsu tunnels. Is this okay, so, like, is this a literal room or a figurative room, then? Alright, I should say a metaphorical room. You say socks? I may or may not have both sock fetish and a love for socks. Hey, you know what? You know what? We don't do fetish shaming here, alright? That's like the 2 rules. The chat only has 2 rules and that's one of them, so let your freak flag fly, is all I'll say. Where the fuck is this guy? I have fucking what is Haynes World Industries. I have fucking what is Haynes World Industries, Nike, Vans, just whatever they are, tights, don't have tags, so I don't even know what company made those. Don't be racist and don't kink shame. Got it. Well, specifically, the 2 chat rules are, don't say anything in chat that'll get me in trouble, and don't kink shame. That's it. Those are the 2 rules. Don't get me in trouble. Do you ever use the lock-on? I almost exclusively use the lock-on, actually. And there's also a 3rd implied rule, which is, don't make anyone uncomfortable. So I guess there's 3 chat rules, but, whatever. Who can count, right? Not me. I failed math. Yeah. You may or may not have OCD. There's a chance I have like a very minor version of it, because I do have, I don't know, is there like a test you can do for OCD? Like an online test? I know it wouldn't be an official diagnosis, but if it exists, I should do it. I probably have like a small, because I think I probably have OCD tendencies. Like actual OCD tendencies, and not just like, because I know a lot, like, I don't want to say I have OCD, because I know that's kind of a thing where people are like, oh, I have OCD, I'm so OCD, but, like, I don't, like, there's some really bad versions of OCD, and I'm clearly not at that level, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I have OCD, I've never been diagnosed with it. I have some things associated with it, but I wouldn't go so far as to be like, I have it for sure. Like, I don't want to be one of those people that are just, like, self-diagnosing. Elden Ring won Game of the Year, and that was great. I get it. Honestly, I don't think... The thing about this year is, like, if this had been a better year in gaming, I probably would have been upset, but I don't think the bar was very high. I was worried God of War was going to win all the awards. Someone came to see Fatal Frame, but I got some tight stockings or some sexy thigh-high sack. Look, if you can't handle this... Alright, you're probably not ready for this fucking... You're not ready to be a repeat viewer if you can't handle talk about sexy thigh-highs. Alright, you can get the fuck out. That's like the barrier for entry. I actually didn't know if I could turn like that, and I don't think I can. But, excuse me. There's also the time we scared away someone because we were discussing serial killers. Granted, it was Clock Tower 3. Look, if you can't take a discussion about how horrible it would be to see your entire family die to a serial killer just bathing them in acid, get the fuck out of here, alright? You're not welcome. There's a Buddha-like statue with a hidden face. That looks like a Buddha-like statue to you. That does. That, you see that and you think, that's Buddha? That does not look like any fucking Buddha I have ever seen. Excuse me. New Armored Core, yeah, Armored Core 6. That made me super excited. Have you played Armored Core? Because I played Armored Core 4 Answer, and that game is fucking awful. I think there is a market for, like, a cool build-your-own-mech game. But Armored Core played, like, a 4 Answer played like complete fucking dog crap. You love Armored Core? Alright, well, each their own, I guess. I got a Buddha statue from a dumpster behind a Chinese restaurant that was shut down. Oh no, poor Buddha. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, though, genuinely, Buddha wouldn't even care. That's the coolest thing about Buddha. Buddha would be like, I don't give a shit, I'm Buddha. That reminds me of... Actually, that reminds me of two things. We'll go with the Buddhist anecdote. There was a prostitute in old school Japan. I'm not going to say ancient Japan. Who called herself Jigoku. She was, I believe she was like the highest level prostitute, which I could tell you what that is any day except for exactly while I'm trying to tell you the story. Is it a Teiyu? Don't quote me on that. Anyway, she called herself Hell. She called herself Hell, and her kimono was adorned with images of torture and murder and hell, right? And so she encountered a other famous Japanese figure who is a sort of like minimalist monk. There's a specific name for this form of philosophy. Nihilism? This story would be so much more functional if I could remember words. But anyway. So this monk came up and he started eating fish, right? And so he's eating fish and he came into a prostitute and she's like, a monk coming in for a prostitute and eating fish, that's not very Buddhist monk of you. And then the guy's like, yeah, no, this doesn't fucking matter. It's all going to the same place, and Buddhism is stupid, right? Hold on, I'm going to look up the specific name of this philosophy, because it's really going to aid in the story. Cynicism. It's called cynicism. It's called cynicism. Anyway, so this cynical monk, not is like yeah, it doesn't matter. The fish is already dead, and there's no reason like abstaining from pleasure. It's all about like unlocking enlightenment, basically. And so he converts Jigoku to his form of like cynical Buddhism. And like, long story short, he like eventually achieves enlightenment, and like she ends up, I believe, becoming a Buddhistava herself. And so when she dies, I believe she requested just to like get thrown out and fed to the dogs, basically. And there you go, that story. But the reason I bring it up is specifically because a very famous philosophical cynic is Diogenes, who had a similar request where he was going to die, and they asked what Diogenes wanted to do with his body, and he told them to just throw his body over the walls and let the wolves have him, right? And Diogenes were like, and they were like, well, we can't throw you over the wall because the wolves will eat you. And then Diogenes said, well, then give me a stick so I can defend myself with. That's fucking Diogenes for you. Always thinking that, man. Anyway. There's a movie called Jigoku. It's from the 60s. I probably did not do a great job of telling either of those anecdotes, but hopefully you enjoyed my little bit of Japanese folklore and my little bit of Greek history. I really think playing Elden Ring and Monster Hunter for months fucked me up, too. In what way? Sorry, I went on a long fucking rant about cynicism. This movie's pretty nuts for the early 60s. Huh. Yeah, alright. Anyway, Rogetsu Kagura viewing record. I intend to conduct a test of the camera obscura. Oh, okay, so this must be by Dr. Asuo. When watching the Rogetsu Kagura dance, chaperoned by the Tsukimori Shrine Maiden. The Rogetsu Kagura is a native Kagura dance and a major event for the island. The performance starts calm, gradually becoming more erratic until reaching a frenzied climax. The extreme spiritual intoxication and excitement causes some participants to lose consciousness. It is purported that an illness called Lunar Eclipse surfaces at the time of the festival. Lunar Eclipse is sometimes portrayed as possession by an evil spirit. Given the belief that souls attending the festival depart for a while, is this disease caused by the possibility that the souls that return are somehow different? The Tsukimori Shrine Maiden have a history of being easily possessed, and I find it curious they participate. I asked about the Tsukimori Shrine Maiden tradition and found the answer truly interesting. It said that people's souls are sound. This sound is called the lunar melody. Oh, we're finally making sense of this nonsense. And each person's melody differs. The lunar melody seems to represent the individual person. That's why playing the lunar melody over the loudspeaker started fucking people up, because I bet you, oh boy, is the lunar melody that Ruka plays the lunar melody that belongs to Ruka, and that's why it fucking started breaking people? I kind of dropped everything else to play those exclusively. The lunar melody seems to represent the individual person. Strangely, if the person grows increasingly angry, their lunar melody becomes confused and tremors. And if they're grieving or upset, it lowers in pitch. The core melody is said to remain unchanged. However, Lunar Eclipse syndrome disrupts the lunar melody, and if distorted sufficiently, it breaks. In any case, the superstition that humans are masses of sound is an attractive one. The Tsukimori Shrine Maidens prepare various kanade for the dance, all with a clear lunar melody. If they should contract lunar sedata, it is not impossible to cure those affected. Treatment by prayer is not uncommon, but it is inevitably done without sound. It seems that my sound is visible to the maidens. She said that it sounds quite pleasant. Although they sometimes say strange things, all the Tsukimori Shrine Maidens have contemporary merits, a rich intellect, a gentleness, and beauty. I would like to make the journey and attend. Ooh, now that was the shoe we've been waiting to drop. Okay, now that actually moves the plot along. Some little kid at Sam's Club said he liked my Kingdom Hearts shirt today. Oh, nice. I have a Kingdom Hearts shirt. No one ever talks about it, though. Sad face. But yeah, fun. little anecdote about Diogenes, not related to him being thrown over the wall and fed to dogs, was... Hold on real quick. I need Kirishima's notebook because I need to know Madoka Tsuki Mori. There it is. That's the shoe. I was waiting for it. I was fucking waiting for it. Ooh. Ooh, there it is. Okay. Anyway, yeah. There's a lot of fun Diogenes little anecdotes, but I believe it was Aristotle. It might have been Plato. I think it was Aristotle. I get Aristotle and Plato mixed up. I will justify that. But anyway, defined man as a featherless biped. And so Diogenes came in just in the middle of a lecture with like a chicken he plucked all the feathers off of and was like, behold, Aristotle's man. Was it Plato or Aristotle? I feel like an asshole now. It might have been Plato. Hold on. It's Plato. Okay, it's Plato. And he was like, behold, Plato's man. And then he holds up like a chicken he fucking plucked all the feathers of. So, so Plato changed the definition to a featherless biped with round, flat nails. Anyway, yeah, what Pokemon? I have more Diogenes stories, but I will stop boring everyone with my anecdotes about an ancient Greek philosopher. What the fuck is... Come on. Somewhere. Maybe Crystal. Can I make a recommendation then? Instead of Crystal, I recommend playing like Yellow first. I was stuck in Gave and Buster's. I sat alone and watched the Super Gamer Brothers of Red, and then last night, today, I was watching a bit of the playthrough of Crystal, maybe Crystal. I recommend playing either Red, Blue, or Yellow before... I would recommend Yellow, honestly. I would recommend Yellow before playing Crystal. You will get more out of Crystal if you play Yellow first. It's like... Gold, Silver, and Crystal are like the only Pokemon games where I would legitimately recommend playing the original Pokemon before. I picked up Violet at launch. It's a glitchy mess, but it's fun as hell. I want to get a hold of Scarlet. I know everyone's like super into like Violet, but I'm on that Scarlet train because of Buff Cave Woman Professor. That's it. That's my motivation. Crystal's kind of a pain in the ass to get a hold of, by the way. How are you planning to play Crystal? Your entire decision was based on whales. You know what? I get it, but counterpoint. Buff Cave Woman Waifu. Hello. Easy choice. Best I can tell, there's no exclusive gym leaders in this one, so Scarlet seems like the easier answer. Johnny named the rival in Red Jerkoff and the rival in Crystal Fuckboy. You can do that. So the reason I'm going to warn you is because old GBA games and old Game Boy games have a sort of internal battery that powers their clock system, and they emulated it. That's how I would recommend doing it, because they have an internal battery inside of their system and your games can just like stop working. I have had that happen. is the reason because I know you love original hardware, and that's why I'm like, look, let me warn you about original hardware right now, because there's a good chance that you could like get a copy of the old game, and then you get it, and then it's fucking busted, and then you're out like $300. Yeah, I will say I like the aesthetic of Violet better. Like, I like the future angle, and I think the dragon is a lot cooler in Violet. But here's the thing: for me, it comes down to you don't have a GBA anymore. Oh, okay. Well then, genuinely then, I'm serious here. I recommend playing yellow, and then I recommend naming your main character red. And then that's it. That's my recommendation. Play yellow, name your main character red, and then go into crystal. It'll be on something like Lunar or Haunting Ground. If I'm gonna spend $100, probably will. It'll be on something like. Oh, okay. Okay, I think I was picking up that item through the wall. I was picking up the item through the wall. Alright, so, no, I wasn't. What the fuck? Where is it then? I'm, like, pinging an item, and I cannot find it. Maybe it's on, like, the inside. Oh, I bet it's on the inside. Zero lens. Boosts the damage of a single shot by moderate amount. Consumes all your spirit power and deals a blow relative to the power consumed. Temporarily increases the power of your attacks. I would rather single shot. My friend might have Crystal. He has a lot of Pokemon games in his closet, but does he know if they work? Because this is a real problem. Okay. Excuse me. So, have I fully explored this level? Now I don't know where to go. Also has a backward compatible DS, so that's a possible way to play it. No. The issue is not the system. Well, I guess your issue is the system. The issue is the game itself has an internal battery. And it's the game that breaks. Like, the specific game is the problem. Like, your copy of the game will just brick itself after a long enough period of time. And you have to, like, crack it open and, like, replace the internal battery and, like, solder that shit in order to get working again. Which is also kind of pricey. I mean, obviously, yes, playing it is a bit of an issue, but, like, even if you had the right system, if the internal battery in the actual game doesn't work, the game will just, like, read you an error. I missed a door. I had that happen with a copy of Ruby. I have both versions I bought for the double pack so my wife could play, but she's been playing nothing but Dreamlight Valley. I might start up Scarlet after I play through Violet. What is Dreamlight Valley? You know what game doesn't kill themselves over anything on a disc? This is why discs are the superior format. Disney made an Animal Crossing clone. Ew. I've never played Animal Crossing. I've heard it's good. And I remember when I was in, like, I don't know, I think high school or something, everyone got really into Animal Crossing out of nowhere, but, like, I never played Animal Crossing. Oh, man. Sounds like someone's having some fun. Hearing that bed squeak? Attention, Rugetsu Kagura attendees. Today at the Lunar Eclipse Hall, the Rugetsu Kagura dance will be performed by 10 p.m. By 10 p.m., I summon you to an honorable assembly at the designated location. During the Kagura performance, the door of the Lunar Eclipse Hall will be closed, and no one will be able to enter or exit. Please take note that the Lunar Eclipse is assumed to start at midnight. Furthermore, all in attendance will be presented with a mask at the family head's room, which must be worn at all times. Thank you. Oh, fuck me in the ass and call me Sally Mae. Oh, I thought that was a boss fight. It is. It's a boss. It's a boss fight. I'm gonna have to fight a psychic version of myself and all of the other girls. I already know. What is this? What is this? It's a bunch of dancing. That's true. You know what? You make a good point, Maid. A bunch of dancing doesn't suddenly kill itself. Dancers have never killed themselves in the history of the world. Oh, we head to a boss fight. SMT2. Do the internal batteries not... Well, do they not have internal batteries? See, I don't have a SNES anymore. Do they not have internal batteries on, like, old... Like, physical old, like, home cartridge... Old home console cartridges? I can hear noise on the other side of the door. Is it music? That sounds like music to you? That sounds like the sweet, sweet sounds of lovemaking to me, Ruka. Look, ghosts can have fun too, alright? Just make sure that they wrap it up with their Ghostbusters-approved condoms to prevent any ectoplasm leakage. Nothing worse than a pregnant ghost girl, alright? Already hormone problems when you get pregnant. You imagine adding being dead on top of that? Ooh. Ooh, you don't want that. Okay. So there is no way in fuck she can lift this. There's a big bar on it. It seems that this whole wall is a door. The bar is heavy and won't move at all. I was about to say, I don't think I could fucking move that. That, like, gigantic fucking tree. Look, I'm gonna surprise everyone, but I don't actually believe I could lift a tree. Oh, I love that. I love that the sex sounds just stop. So last time we saw Misaki was in here. Are we gonna find Misaki? Is that the Kagura stage? Well, no, we found Misaki inside. So is this a different... Are there two Kagura stages? Oh, is one for the, like, the show and the other one is for the ceremony of passage? Is that it? Like, one's the ceremony of passage stage, and the other one's the... The other one's the Rugetsu Kagura. So I guess that's Kid Ruka watching the Rigetsu Kagura, but I thought she was found... So I guess the Rigetsu Kagura done by the nurse was just for show, and then the real ceremony was performed as the ceremony of passage shortly afterward, underground. Underground with Sakuya as the Utsuwa. Is that correct? Is that what we're getting at? Like, this is the above-ground, like, tourist trappy version of the Rigetsu Kagura, but the ceremony of passage was the underground one, which would make sense because because you get the light of the moon well, right? So I beat the symphony the night after you finished screaming, and... See, this is just the nurse, though. Oh, I botched it. Oh, I didn't botch it. This fight is hell. Oh no! Oh god! You stupid little bitch! God, there's so many of them! I'm gonna have to, like, half-cock kill him. Oh my god, we're gonna die! We're actually gonna die. Holy shit, there's so many and they teleport onto you. I can't dodge fast enough. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god, I'm getting ripped apart right now. Alright, have a good night, Arctic. Fatal framed her. If I can kill one with a fatal frame. Alright, that's one down. That's one down. Wait, what? God! There's like not... I guess if I left hand... The problem is I'm a righty and I can't move fast enough. Ooh, I missed a shot at a fourth fatal frame. God! Oh my god! I wonder if some of this is also input lag because of the way the server works. Yeah, wow, holy fucking shit, I'm getting absolutely fucking obliterated in this fight. You know what? You know what? We can't... We're gonna start running through our healing items. Yeah, I would rather... I'd rather change to type 57. Alright, she's dead. Yeah, we're gonna have to use our points to buy more healing items because we're out. We're fresh out. There is genuinely not enough time. Alright, only one left. Fuck me, dude. Holy shit. I'm fucking with you, girl. Holy shit. I finished streaming after you finished. They got rid of that really weird 90s R&B song for the credits. I was taken away during the festival that day. Inside. Place it with a better song. Further, much further inside. Big game composer, so you know it fits the rest of the game. Doesn't sound like credits to 90s knockoff Disney movie. Deeper, deeper. It'd be fun to see how or if they fix some of this game's jank next year. So I'm not 100% sure if the window for that is just too small or if it's caused by the input lag in the controller. Because keep in mind, this is not a Wiimote. Sack is taking an ad break. Stick around and support the stream. I don't know, Twitch looks like it's playing. Fuck me, dude. I got absolutely ass blasted. Another issue with this game, I think, is so the issue with the game is that upgrade materials are... I remember this game being janky even on Wiimote. I know, but part of the reason I might not have been able to react fast enough was because the controller has to go through like 3 different layers of input lag. So maybe that might be why I wasn't able to go fast enough. But anyway, we have to go to the shop. We've got to buy some shit. Sacred Water, 40,000. Sacred Water is a complete goddamn waste of your points. Instead, we are going to buy 1 herbal medicine, 2 herbal medicine, 3 herbal medicine, 4 herbal medicine, 5 herbal... Let's just buy up to 8 herbal medicines. We have a lot of points. We have so many points. That's how you know I've been doing good in a fight. But yeah, herbal medicine is required. You have to tilt the Wiimote to move the camera. I have to do that. I do. Have you not noticed? Here, watch. Woo, 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 woo. What I'm saying is I think the reason I couldn't shake it fast enough was the input lag. Because this isn't like... You don't connect the PS4 controller to your PC. You have to connect the PS4 controller to your PC, then run it through a program. Then that program has to create a server that the PS4's Bluetooth connects to, and then that's read by the emulator, which then translates it into the game movement. So it's like 3 or 4 different layers of input lag, and a part of me is wondering if I just, like... If I had these, like, shoved into a Wii, would I have as much issue as dodging, you know? And I'm not sure. Maybe. Maybe the window's really small. It felt really small. But I was starting to shake, and I just hadn't shook it enough to dodge, so who knows, really. When I got Doom on Switch, gyro was on, it was awful. Oh, yeah, fucking Zelda's gyro starts on by default also, and you just have to deal with it. There is a Pokemon that only evolves if you level it up and then flip your DS upside down. There you go. That's how you evolve it. Oh yeah, did I save? I would hate to do that fight over. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I can apparently buy quite a lot of healing items. Type 0 film. Oh, shit. Oh, now we getting into it. I can apparently buy a lot of healing items. In the CSGB playthrough, they showed an exploit to change the clock so you don't have to sit and wait for hours and wait for night. Oh, in Pokemon? They don't let you do that in the latest Pokemon games, and it is the most frustrating fucking thing imaginable. Because some Pokemon only show up on certain days of the week, and if you move your camera, like you move your console time, it puts like a delay on your console, like a 24-hour delay. I know something I'm not playing. It's not that big of an issue. I will tell you this. In front of me, was that my father? It's an issue. The only time I've ever had it be an issue was in the Diamond and Pearl remakes, which those games suck. Honestly, genuinely, those games suck, and I would not recommend the Diamond and Pearl remakes anyway. So, it would not be an issue for you. That's why my brother dropped Animal Crossing. He hated everything was in real time. Because the issue with the Diamond and Pearl remake is in order to get the end game, like post game content after you see the credits, in order to get that part of the game, what you need to do is you need to have seen every Pokemon in the game. You need to have at least seen them. And the number one problem is this little fucker called Drifloon. Okay, game. That's a crock of shit. You lured me in with an item that wasn't fucking there and wasn't visible just to kill me with a ghost? Anyway, yeah, Driftlooms only show up on Wednesdays. That's the problem. Oh, you know why I can't fucking dodge? Because dodging is Misaki's mechanic. Anyway, yeah, Driftlooms only show up on Wednesdays, so if you missed the one opportunity you had to see a Drifloom, and it is, you only get one shot, and it is missable, then you can only finish, and Drifloom is the last Pokemon you're missing, you can only complete the National Dex on a Wednesday. Like, Real World Wednesday. Good thing I bought all those healing items. Now I have to fight dumb hallway bitch. See, you can't hit her when she's in the ceiling like this. The game's very precise about that. It will not let you. Drop down, fucker. Alright, this is becoming a problem. We need more power. Fatal Frame 4... What? Wait, no, what am I on? 4? Fatal Frame 4, you started out so good. This isn't even fun. This is just fucking boring. This is just boring and frustrating. I literally can't hit it. Here, watch. Oh, you can. Oh, I'm stupid. Okay, no, you know what? I'm not stupid. The game's fucking stupid. because you can't hit them in the fucking ceiling. It's been a consistent issue. If they're like midway through the wall, the game has never let me hit them before. That fight was fucking stupid bullshit, and I hated it. Alright, anyway. He hated everything was in real time, like he missed Delabella was introduced, because he didn't play for a single day. Yeah, see, you don't have that issue with Pokemon. That's the thing, though. You don't have that issue with Pokemon. It's just, it's different Pokemon spawn on different days, and like... And it only becomes an issue, like, if you're not looking for a specific Pokemon, it only becomes an issue if you are. And that's where the issue comes in with, like, Drifloon. Because Drifloon only appears on Wednesdays, like, after you've beaten the game. And in order to get to post-game content in the Diamond and Pearl remakes, you need to have seen every Pokemon. And which means, and there is a dungeon that has a Drifloon in it, or a gym that has a dungeon that has a Drifloon in it. And you can see the Drifloon from a trainer, but the problem is that it's a quiz gym, which asks you a bunch of trivia questions. So if you get every question correct, you will never see this Drifloon. If you get every question wrong, you'll see the Drifloon. But once you beat the gym, you can't go back and challenge those trainers. So if you don't see Drifloon, by getting a question wrong, specifically when challenging that gym, you're shit out of luck. And you gotta beat the game and wait till like Wednesday before you can see another Drifloon. And yeah, that's the most frustrating part. But yeah, otherwise it's not really a problem. Like, Pokemon doesn't care if you beat the game at like fucking 3 in the morning. It'll just let you slide. Although there are Pokemon that only evolve at, that's where the price of video games is getting unbearable. There are Pokemon that only evolve at night or only evolve during the day. But yeah, it's not usually that big of a problem. Girl suffering on altar. I'm not sure which room I should be going in and which one is I shouldn't. Offerings of food and alcohol to the gods have been placed. The food offering is rotten and I can't tell what it is. Type 0 film. All of consciousness mind. Notes. For the mask of the person becoming an Utsuwa, having budded must be harvested and used. I think the translation is breaking down now. That face must be enshrined overnight in the Hall of Consciousness, conscious mind to be purified. By the moon, that face is then used within a handcrafted mask. After it has been peeled and tanned, the moonlight eradicates the impurities. Wait a minute. For the mask of the person becoming an Utsuwa, having... Oh! When someone buds, they cut their face off and use that as the mask of an Utsuwa. Okay, yeah, okay, no, honestly, we're starting to run into more and more translation issues. A female mask enshrined an altar which is carved with clouded moon patterns. The surface of the white mask is cracked like broken clay. We're running into more and more translation issues. Honestly, part of me is wondering how much of this confusion is coming from the game and how much of it is coming from the fucking translation. Some other fucker is selling Ys 1 and 2 on PSP. No game, just the case for $80. My father has always been here. Do I have Ys 1 and 2? I think I do. Father? Father? I do. Yeah, no, I definitely do. Father? I've had to buy Pokemon cases before because I have just, like, loose copies of the games. I'll give you $80 for it. I can't. It's digital. I have it on Steam. But, yeah, I've had to buy, like, Pokemon cases before, and those will go for, like, it'll be, like, $60 for just, like, a case. Not even for the game, just the case. Father Shadow returning from Current's head. See, you can shit talk PC gaming all you want, but I paid like $5 for my copies. So we're gonna go back to the creepy room. Oh, and shit talk PC gaming actually went well for me. There you go. We're gonna go back to this. See, this room. We're gonna open this room up, and you're gonna be like, yeah, that looks like where the story would progress, but apparently I'm wrong. Because if I learned anything from Fatal Frame, stories only progress when you see ghosts. So this creepy room that looks like it's super important can't be important. What the literal shit? Amazon never sent my return label, though I paid for them to mail me one. Alright, logically, I'm standing on it. Either it's right here, or I'm standing on it. Horror game architects just making the most evil rounds. You know, that's literally a job. Is Resident Evil the only game that ever addressed horror game architecture? In the antechamber, during the ceremony of passage, the shrine maiden is united with the mask. Before praying at the altar, she must sit wearing the mask and listen to the lunar melody. She must become one with the mask. The Canidae must become one with the masks. The lunar melody must be played from above the altar. Only those who become one with the mask shall stride majestically from the altar to the hall beneath. Like, I can't think of any other horror game franchise that addresses its horror architecture. Something like a panel is attached to the altar. Stagnant air flows from behind the altar. Like, they talk about it in, like, RE1 and RE2, and I don't think they ever talk about who the fuck builds these monstrosities and why ever again. Here's the problem. I know this isn't worth my time. Alright, looking it up. Alright. Now I feel like the game's just fucking with me. It's started to, like, break its own rules now. Like, between the, like, precise... Like, I have to stand in a very specific place in order to catch that picture, rather than just point the camera in the correct area. And then there's the lamp item, which turned out just to be a ghost. Like, the game has started to, like... It's established the rules, and it's started to break the rules, and it's starting to piss me off now. Like, the game is actually kind of getting worse. My favorite thing about Japan and Shinto is media is they can't decide if Shintoism is beautiful and one with nature, some horrifying, nightmarish, bizarre rituals. So the thing about Shintoism is, like most religions, it's both. It's kind of both things. There are some truly, truly awful Shintoist practices. But there are also some generally good ideas around it. Like, one of the classic Shintoist practices is that in order to, like, to bless a building, it was believed in certain parts of Japan that someone needed to die in the construction of it. So, like, sometimes they would just kill one of the workers and just leave their fucking body in the building so that the building gets good luck. And that's pretty fucking awful. So, like, the horrible Fatal Frame Shintoist, like, evil bullshit doesn't literally come out of nowhere. But another thing about, like, Shintoism is that, like, not every god is awful and requires sacrifice. Like, Shintoism is about, what is it? Like, the way of, like, 8 million gods? Something like that. And so there's as many gods as there are, like, things, functionally, right? Because everything has its own version of a god. So some Shintoist practices are awful, and then some of them are completely normal. Sometimes gods can create, like, horrible floods and like destroy your entire civilization. But if you visit their shrine when someone near you died recently, oh, they get sick. Oh. This place is the house I lived in. Boom! Are we gonna go for one more chapter? I think we are. Hell yeah, I want to save. Bum 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 bum. Chapter 7, Without Suffering. Kirishima investigates the hospital, knowing that illegal inhuman medicinal practices are occurring. Hospital director Shigeto Hibara used the inpatients as guinea pigs in experiments. His son, Yo, cooperated with him in doing this. What is the reason? We've never seen a single bit of evidence that Yo cooperated with any of these. What is the reason for Shigeto Hibara's obsession with treating Luna Sadata? Hinduism. This is a very loving goddess. Alright, okay. I'm gonna make a correction here, alright? Parvati is a sort of goddess of, like, love and shit. But when she enters into her aspect of Kali, then she becomes a goddess of violence. That's kind of comparing apples to oranges right there. The island's ritual, the Rogetsu Kagura, seems to be a hint. The Kagura dance and the Luna Sadata seem tied together, and Hibara and his son believed that its mask and music were a possible treatment. The date also coincides with the day of the kidnapping 10 years ago, the night of the Kagura. What does this strange coincidence mean? And a picture painted by a mysterious artist, an inpatient. Who is the woman depicted in it? Nobody knows! The game won't fucking tell me! Lingering Cherry Blossom, Chapter 10. This is the last Mangog chapter. This motherfucker is still in the house? Everyone else has already fucking left. Ruka's fucking around in a village. Misaki is in the underground. This fucking jackass is still in the hospital. Dude, what the fuck? You know what? No fucking wonder you can't find... Oh my god, I gave this man power 3. No fucking wonder this guy can't fucking find any of the girls. He's all the way back here. Alright, so this guy's got power 3. Charge 1. Wow. Increase the maximum spirit power. Speaking of Hindu gods and SMT, motherfuckers who say Kaneko is 100% mythologically accurate really need to look at his fucking Hindu art. Lakshmi is fucking white lady with blue eyes and blonde hair. What is the traditional depiction of Lakshmi? I want a very early depiction of her. Because sometimes you get descriptions of gods and they are described like that. Let's see. Life, emotion, iconic liberation, blah, 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 blah. Lakshmi wears a red dress embroidered with gold threads, which symbolizes fortune and wealth. Nope, nothing about blue eyes or blonde hair. Elegantly dressed, showering gold-colored woman. Okay, so she's supposed to be gold-colored. Standing or sitting in the Padmasana position upon a lotus throne while holding a lotus in her hand, symbolizing fortune, four aspects of human life, important to Hindu culture, the Dharma, Kama, Artha, and Moksha. The Lakshmi is her Saranama of the... I'm not going to read all this. And her ultimate... blah. No, that's her ultimate form. Okay, yeah. Okay, so basically she looks like this. So basically she's supposed to look like this. They nailed it. Whoever made this knocked it out of the fucking park. Who was this? This was Siri Gaja Lakshmi by Raja Ravi Varma in 1896. Okay, well, I guess the copyright expired on this fucking forever ago. Anyway, there you go. This is what she's supposed to look like, basically. She is not sitting in Padmasana in this position. No, she is not. She's not sitting in Padmasana, but that's fine. Used to wear red in Devil Summoner 1, but Soul Hackers, he changed her clothes to blue. Yep. Yeah. Well, honestly, I like the art. Wow, fucking Kaneko cannot fucking draw feet, can he? You know what? That's fine. No one can. It's very hard to draw feet, so you're fine. Yeah, I do like the design, but yeah, it does not look it does not look very Lakshmi-ish. He did a more mythologically accurate design in 92. Let's see what we got. Oh, yeah, that's more mythologically accurate. Missing the lotus flower. Man! Is still missing the lotus flowers, though. A lost memory. This scene looks familiar. Yeah, it's the moon pole. 2 years ago after the festival, I followed Haibara and returned to this island. I saw that woman, and then, after that, I can't remember. Okay. This motherfucker is still... Do you see this? He's still in the hospital. He's not even on, like, the 4th floor of the hospital. He's on, like, the 2nd floor of the hospital. Magaki's work note 2. The vision has bestowed work after work upon me. From my point of view, the vision only increases the beauty of the end product. This work depicts innocent, foolish girls asking for help without even knowing a crime has been committed. As a reminder, Magaki is the artist, which I forgot until just now. 5 young girls who seek the light, mixed relief and despair, held back by the weight of the act committed by that beautiful girl. It is appropriate to call this work an embodiment of my vision. Excuse me. And now my vision spreads wide and infinite, and there is nothing. This vision shows me relief, in the form of a remedy for blooming. We shall be delivered by extinction. This island will bloom in confusion and be exquisitely eradicated. Everything impure shall bloom. Stop and look upon the bloomed woman, the beautiful destruction pouring from that face. Faceless, bloomed destruction. I was born, I was born, I was born, I was born. Okay. So this seems like he may have fucked with the mask of the Lunar Eclipse during the ceremony of passage. But we also got the same bit of hint from Dr. Asuo's assistant, but I'm more willing to lean towards Magaki. Unless Magaki is the assistant. Oh! Even when Kaneko got better at drawing feet, it still looks like shit. That's not terrible. That's not a terrible feat, comparatively. Like, compared to the old feat. I think this is the best he did, but even that ain't saying much. Yeah, see, these aren't awful. These aren't awful feet. They're very like flat-footed, but yeah, compared to like the first two. Yo, gazing at picture. Someone drew Azusa from K-On! In Kaneko style. It looks weird. The woman in this painting. I know her. She doesn't have a face! Where is she? I know this woman! I'd recognize that impressionist abstract woman anywhere. A large decorative painting of a woman in a red kimono. Her face is blurred and covered in dark red. It's impossible to tell what she looks like. But I know her. I definitely know her. Speaking of Ameno Uzume, she has eyes in every game where she has a 3D model. Is this Haibara's? How long will my sister continue to sleep? I've done everything I can to cure my sister. My hands are tainted with illegal experiments. Okay, so I guess Yo Haibara is in fact involved in it. We never found a single piece of evidence until right now, though. The ceremony of passage caused the forbidden day without suffering. However, after the ceremony failed, my sister was left both dead and alive in a way. Why was the ceremony of passage not enough? What did I come here for? Maybe it would be easier if I could just forget it all. This picture is hope. My sister will awaken. The other picture is ominous and frightening, but I feel calm when I stand in front of this painting. My sister will wake up one day for sure. 5 minutes later, she jumps off a fucking tower. Another person. Fucking Picasso. Yes! I would recognize this lady anywhere! Clearly! I know her! Ebony Stage K. Regetsu Hall Basement is written on it. Oh, thanks for the fucking hint, game! Wowzers! I love how the game just randomly decides when to give me a hint. The only bit of evidence is him looking at creepy in cutscenes and having the typical creepy Japanese voiced man in horror movies. The key to the budding basement, where the woman in this painting came from. The basement, what's down there? Yeah, like, we found every single thing so far. That wasn't there before. We found every single piece of evidence so far. Not a single thing mentioned that Yo had anything to do with anything until right now, and yet the summary was still like, it was Yo! Yo was behind it! And I'm like, okay, if you say so, game. These 5 girls. It's similar to the scene I saw in the basement of Haibara Hospital. Well, see, now that one makes sense. Oh yeah, we still don't know who this is. Including this one, 3. Wow! Wow! She's a pussy! The ghost left something behind. Kagari Sendo's letters. Yeah, including this one, 3, because there's 13 chapters, and we're on 10. The sunlight was strong. When she appeared, I was standing on the courtyard veranda. She came upstairs. Kirishima don't need no bitch-ass camera. The air in the courtyard stopped moving. She had no face. That faceless person was the Walking Dead. She looked at a man. I remember why I don't like Kirishima is because there's too much fighting in his levels. She looked at a man in the garden. That man's face was destroyed. The faces of people that looked at her face were destroyed, as if it was nothing. As if it were nothing. That woman went into the hall. It started. Since I was born dead, it was my first feeling of elation. It started. It was like going somewhere far away. It made me feel young again. On today's walk, I might go somewhere far away. Maybe I can finally go to the beach again. According to the wiki, there's 12. There is... There might be 12. I might be wrong. There's chapter 11, and then there's the final chapter. But I don't remember if the final chapter is 12. The final chapter is 12. Yeah, there's 12 chapters. Okay. So if I do another 2-chapter stream next time, we'll be done with the game next stream, is basically the idea. That was part of my reasoning for wanting to go for 2 chapters anyway. 13 if you include the prologue. Ah, see, there we go. Ha-ha! Ha-ha! I would normally have been including the prologue, but I will be fully honest, I wasn't in this case because I forgot the prologue happened. So really, okay, no, what I will say though is, if you pour your blue crystals into Madoka at the beginning of the game, you never play with Madoka ever again. Then what? Kuon or Tormented Souls? It would be, I believe, Kuon. And then we will probably... The horror month is going to have to change forms after this because it turned out to be dauntingly long. Yeah, it would be Kuon, Tormented Souls, and then Assassin's Creed, I think, is what it is. Yeah, we might need to look into doing, like, only 1 or 2 horror games instead. That's Captain's call for being overly ambitious. Yeah, RE6 is fucking long. Well, also part of it's, like, I just haven't been streaming as long or as often as I normally do every year. Like, normally I get really into it in October, but, like, so much shit stacked up on top of itself this year that I just didn't have the time. And now I kind of have more time. I still don't have a lot, but I have more time. But the problem is that, like, at this point, it's also, like, it's just hard to get back into the groove, you know? That's Zach's fault for not... Yeah, you know what? Horror Month this year can be blamed on Capcom being too ambitious, and me not being ambitious enough. Gotcha, you little bitch. Ha! I got her. I fucking got her, mate. I got another one of these Kazuki dolls. I don't know what the point of them are. But I got 37 of them now. You play so many Japanese horror games, horror months, summer of horror. See, we got to avoid that happening at all costs, is what I'm saying. Summer is the scary season in Japan. That's true. That's fair. But yeah, if we do Horror Month next year, we're also kind of like really depleting our horror game supply anyway. Like I know we've gone like number by number and shown that there is enough for at least 2 to 3 more years. But I do feel like we hit like the major ones, you know? Fucking lineup would be like Yamawari, Fatal Frame 5, I don't know, Siren. I can absolutely fix that. Like, I feel like of all, like I said, like, there are plenty of horror games to go. Like, we went through the list, and we're aware of more of them. Like, we have at least 3 more years of horror games, theoretically, just on sheer numbers. But, like, I feel like I nailed all of the ones I wanted to do at this point when I started Horror Month, if that makes any sense. But, like, only problem is Siren is guide game. No, I wouldn't do Siren. I wouldn't do Siren. I don't think Siren would make for a very good stream. Anything you have to babysit that hard is not meant for streaming. But yeah, it's more of like a thing, or like, I feel like I got all of the the important ones at this point. The amount of points you earn by 1.2 to 2 times. Oh, that's good. How about the Suffering? No, the Suffering is... Look, okay, if we're being realistic, yes, there's Suffering 1 and 2. There's Obscure 2. There's Machine for Pigs. Amnesia Rebirth. There's... I think they're making a 4th Amnesia game, which is like a shooter. We could do that one. There's Maiden of the Blackwater. There's... what about Jericho? We can't do Jericho, actually. And I will tell you why. Because I can't stream off console. Because I don't have a capture card anymore. So actually, we can't do Jericho. But yeah, there's... If we wanted to get spicy with it, and we wouldn't, but theoretically, there's like Clock Tower 1 and 2. There's like the Zero Escape games. There's... fucking... What else could we do? There's Bioshock 2, Bioshock 3. Like there are more than there's like Shadowed Memories we could do. There's like Eternal Darkness. Like, there's more than enough horror games to do. The issue is that, like, none of those sound particularly appealing. Is more the problem. Like, the problem is we haven't ran out. The problem is that I think we got the good ones, is what I'm saying. Like, any horror game I ever had, like, a passing interest in, we've basically hit it now, is what I'm saying. Outlast 2, and if we're gonna play Outlast 2, we might as well do Outlast 1, even though I think Outlast 1 is fucking terrible. Castlevania is not really horror, but it is Halloween-y. No, because it's Horror Month. It's not Halloween. It's not October. Isn't the name of the programming block? It's Horror Month. Granted, we used that excuse to do Danganronpa the first time, but Manhunt. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, if we're just listing options, sure, yeah, Manhunt. There's that, like, Forest game I have. There's, like, The Coma. I have that game. I have a horror game called Enola. Like, yeah, there's plenty of options. The thing is, like, who cares is the problem. Like, it's kind of become, like, a who cares sort of thing, and also just, like, the amount of time and investment in it. Like, I feel like it's to a point that it's like, it's not that Horror Month can't keep happening, because it super can. I have not played every horror game ever made, but, like, I wouldn't want to. Darkwood, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, there's Darkwood. You know what? You actually got me. I have not heard of Cold Fear. Oh, there's also one more game. Echo Knight. We have one more Echo Knight game. Echo Knight. But yeah, no, like, realistically, I could see, like, next year being, like... I would still want to do Fatal Frame 5, honestly. I would do, like, Maiden of the Blackwater, then maybe, like, Revelations... Excuse me, and then maybe a cleanup game. I don't think I would be on board to pick up any more franchises. Like Obscure 2 or Machine for Pigs or BioShock 2, maybe BioShock 2, something like that. Like I would really, if Horror Month happens, it's gonna be pretty well gutted. Is like I'm gonna definitely tone it down. $640. All right, what do we got? This looks like... It almost looks like it plays like Metal Gear. Like, it has, like, the same basic assets as Metal Gear. Who made this? Who made this? Ubisoft, interesting. It's a horror game on a boat. The most terrifying of all. Alright, I'm gonna be totes my goats here. I've actually no longer remember how to get to... I don't remember how to get to the moon pool anymore. You have been logged out of the hospital. What do you forgot layout? Yeah! It is, I will say, it like... The layout of the hospital is a lot better put together than the fucking dream level in, like, 3, where they clearly just stapled the previous 3 games. 3 is just a fucking lazy game, honestly. They just stapled the level design of the previous games together. No, but I walked down this stairway, and I did encounter enemies. So that makes me feel like this was the correct way. Why do I not remember how to get to the fucking moon pool? I remember it's one of these side hallways. Oh, I think I didn't go far enough? Yeah, this is the way to the moon pool. I'm just one... Konami really showed their laziness symphony tonight. They flipped the map upside down and called it a day. Yeah, there we go. I forgot. Wait, I didn't go one... I needed to go one hallway over. That was my problem. Again? This time, I can't run away. This is the time. This time, I'm gonna fuck Sakuya up. Sakuya! Kirishima! Wow, that did her health bar! Fuck! Holy fuck! What? That did her whole health bar! Holy shit! That did so much damage! That was like 0 film damage. Saki may be camera position, but she never fought flashlight. Holy shit! I've never seen a boss take that kind of damage in a Fatal Frame game. That was fucking absurd. That was 2 hits? And by the way, that was the basic flashlight. I didn't even use the power shot. Holy shit! Investigation record 6. I get the feeling that, like, in this universe, the flashlight... Like, I get in this universe that, like... The camera is like is like a handgun, right? It's like, this is for personal defense, right? I'm gonna go in, I might see a ghost, and I might need to defend myself, right? So I'm gonna bring the camera obscura. I get the feeling that the flashlight is like, alright, we got a Class A infestation. We're talking 30, 40 ghosts, some kind of fucked up Shinto ritual, and a hell gate that's about to burst open. Send in the spirit flashlight squad. Apparently a Republican politician claimed we live in a country where you can buy dildos at Target. What fucking Target is she shopping at? Awesome Target? Oh, okay, so here's a fun factoid. I went to my Walmart recently, right? And I do not remember what I was buying. But I passed down like the condom aisle. And what did I see but a fucking shelf dedicated to sex toys, all right? They had clit vacuums, they had dildos, they had butt plugs, they had it. You want it, they had it. It's just like my local Walmart grocery store. What if she's like this forever? She continues to sleep, always existing in a state like that. One day she'll wake up and the door will open. The door. Why is every store cooler than mine? You gotta move to a bigger town. Duty nurse. A while ago, when I was taking a nap, I had a dream about the door. Standing before the door, with her enclosed within a comatose state, as if she wasn't alive. Suddenly I heard something and strained my ears. I heard something faintly. The sound of the wind. Breathing? It's different. She's singing to herself. Suddenly I noticed the dull creaking sound of the door. The patient inside this door is in a coma, meant to be on the verge of death, but still. Oh. While the heavily shut door opens, like screaming, the groaning increases. I see. I thought I saw a small gap in the door. The eyes, stagnant, red eyes. What? I don't understand. What is that face? What is that? So, like, there was a whole cutscene dedicated to her aggroing in this room, and then she just, like, kind of did not walk into this room. And then she just left. She left me in the middle of this fight. Up? I'm gonna look it up because as we've established, it can just be wherever now. Like, there's like standing requirements.
And Amazon is now worth more than the nation's biggest retailer. The online store is currently valued at $264 billion. At last check, Walmart was valued at $234 billion. The bump for Amazon came after it reported an unexpected boost in sales in its second quarter. Amazon earned $92 million last quarter. That's a 20% jump in sales compared to the prior year.
You know why? Because they sell sex toys, and Walmart can or won't sell sex toys. Amazon does. A friend of mine works in a warehouse who says they sell a ton of them.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you how it is.
They're trying to impress me.
Well, yeah, but nobody else will tell you this, but that's the reason. All right, thanks for watching.
Get that guy a promotion. That guy knows. That's the guy we need doing journalism right there. Oh yeah, I was looking at the solution of this sound. Got it. Alright, now we can leave this fucking room. Anyway, that was so loud, it literally blew my hair back. I, like, what the fuck? What were we even talking about before that? Oh, yeah, anyway, yeah. So now Walmart's going to surpass Amazon. Now they sell sex toys. So that's pretty cool. Go down to your local Walmart and pick up your vibrator today. Oh my god! That looks like a real physical human! Sayaka, how? Please. No, but she's the most dead. Give her the mask piece. It's important. But where's Ruka? She's like halfway across the hospital. You're very slow. She's still inside, in the place where you once found her. There isn't much time left. Please. Sayaka. Of course he's still a news anchor. He brought in the views. He tells you how it is. It seems you've helped me out again. Like where he's like, where's Ruka? And it's like, dog, you were like 7 hours behind everyone else. You are slow as molasses. Chushiro of the mask. Preparations to carve the masks were made, but the head wouldn't give us permission. In case of budding, the body shall be treated as follows. The face shall be cut, we knew this. The face shall be taken off, we knew that. Without the face, there's no blooming. Your face can't delete itself if it's not there. This oral tradition must be adhered to. Yes, there is still breath. While there is still breath, no cutting must be carried out. But can you really call this woman alive? There is almost no breath, and the air around this woman is freezing cold. The atmosphere itself seems to freeze. A burning fills her room, but the incense is useless. The body has been lying like this for far too long. The faces of the dying should be cut off. She is not allowed to be touched or called by name, but that just increases my uneasiness. This woman's face must be cut. This woman's face must be cut, while I be able to resist that impulse. For a guy who can one-shot a ghost, he sure is slow. Yeah! He just took basically the big boss of the game and just went, BAM! Dead. This is what Sayaka mentioned. She told me to give this to Ruka, and that would help her. So, I guess the question is, if Soya created the mask, and we know that the masks are created from the corpses of the budded, whose mask is the whose face was the mask of the Lunar Eclipse created from? Was it created from the nurse? Was it created from, like, Ayako? We know it couldn't have been created from Sayako because she was the Utsuwa. No, but the nurse didn't bud, so they didn't cut her face off. So whose face is the mask of the Lunar Eclipse? What a weird question I'm asking myself. Whose face did they cut off for this horrible Shinto ritual? The moon. Reflected the moon. Oh, I bet that's the lady in black, although we still don't know who this woman is. Quiet, deep forest. There is nothing. I'll see you. I'll see you. Various chemicals, syringes, ampules are placed on the shelf. Medicine for mental conditions are labeled and lined up. Wow. Thanks, game. Yeah, so either this game needs to vastly increase the amount of blue crystals you get, or they need to not be shared between characters, because there's just not enough to upgrade everyone. While I was on a long car ride yesterday, we talked about fantasy races and just how weird some of them are. Okay. The thick lattice door is tightly shut. It's impossible to get inside. From the other side of the lattice, the faint smell of mildew and chemicals is present. Elder Scrolls has so many really pointless ones, like different variations of man. Oh, you mean like the difference between like Nord and Imperial and Breton and Redguard? Well, okay, so to be clear, in Elder Scrolls they are kind of different races, right? Like as a definition of race, in Elder Scrolls, it's like one of the only series where they are different races. And because Elder Scrolls makes a difference between man and mer. So like, there are like 5 different variants of like elf. 5 was conservative. There's like 12 different variants of elf, right? Who the fuck plays as a Breton? A lot of people. Bretons have really high magic. Alright, this has apparently implemented a Silent Hill-styled scary room. Oh, you want to catch these hands now, huh? Oh, that did nothing. Does that include the weird elves you can't play as, like the Dwemer? Yeah, well, the Dwemer, yeah, it does. If I had... I genuinely do not believe I can name every variant of elf in Elder Scrolls. I genuinely don't think I could. There are the Dunmer. Do we count Dunmer and Chimer as different elves? Fuck it. There's the Dunmer, the Chimer. There's the Altimer. There's the Bossamer. There's the Falmer. There's the Dwemer, because Dwemer are elves. And the Khajiit are also a form of elf. Believe it or not. Yes, the weird cat things are actually forms of elf. And I think there's also sand elves, I believe. Speaking of fantasy races, I'll never forget when I played Dragon Age and I was a dwarf woman and I talked to someone and said, "Sorry, little lady, I'm not interested in buying Orf." Fucking racist. That's fucking great. I love Dragon Age. I love Dragon Age 1 and 2. Inquisition is... I think the game wants me to take an elevator to the basement. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm missing some type of elf. I'm not an Elder Scrolls lore expert, but yeah, those are at least the types of elves I can name offhandedly. Chimer, Dunmer, Altimer, Bosmer, Falmer, whatever the sand elves were called, Khajiit. That's like at least 7 types of elf, right? Dwemer, that's 8. That's 8 types of elf. But Argonians are not a form of elf, unlike Khajiit, because Argonians are born from trees. They're tree people. And that's also ignoring that there are other races, so, or I should say, we're going to call them species, but, like, they're called races. But, like, so we have man, which is Imperial, Breton, Nord, Redguard. And then Mer, which are, like, technically I think Mer is anything that's not a man, but we're going to call them the elves. And then there's the Argonians, and then there's, there is the horrible necromancer monsters that appear in Redguard, and then in the other continent, which is not Tamriel, there is like a continent full of monkey people. And then, technically, there's, like, the Aedra and the Daedra, which are their own... which are their own bullshit. And then there are orcs, which I think orcs are also a type of elf. I'm pretty sure they are. I think they're called like the Orsimar or something. Or Orsimer or some shit. I think they were orcs created by like Malakath or some shit. He awakened. I've always been waiting for her to awaken. But I never thought it would lead to something like this. A day without suffering, huh? It's finished. It's all gone. Everyone has bloomed. Sakuya. If I remember the lore of the Elder Scrolls, the difference between the Aedra and the Daedra are that the Aedra are essentially just Daedra, right? But the idea was that when it came time to create the universe, the Aedra, or I should say, I think the world, right? I think it was Nirn. When it came time to create Nirn, the Aedra were the ones who aided in the creation of the world, and the Daedra did not aid in the creation of the world. But I believe, due to that, the Aedra actually ended up weakening themselves, which is why the Daedra seem to present themselves more powerfully. I've never seen any of the 8, 9, or 8 divines or whatever number it was. That's actually very coincidental, so you say that, because there is a debate about how many divines there are. Because there were 8 divines, and then Tiber Septim was said to have ascended to have become the 9th divine. So it is funny you bring up those specific numbers. But I've seen a Daedric lady with crows give me some cool upgrades. Now, I've seen so many Daedra, but none of the other gods. Now, as for the Aedra, they actually have their own artifacts, just like the Daedra do. There are Aedric artifacts, like Masakato. I mean, Masakato is not unique in being the only dude to have been enshrined as a god in Japan, but sure, like Masakato. According to legend, he became a god. Sure, we can go with Masakato. Why not? yeah, basically Tiber Septim became considered one of the divines, and so he became the god Talos. But it was the first that came to my Mega 10 boy's mind. It's fine. He works because he was enshrined as a god. So he's acceptable enough as an answer. Yeah. So but there are Adric artifacts. They do exist. And what's more is you can meet the Aedra in games. You meet at least 3 of them in Morrowind. And if you've ever played the end of Oblivion, I guess spoilers, fucking Mehrunes Dagon just in person shows up, starts fucking up Imperial City, and then Martin, who bears the blood of Akatosh, uses his amulet to transform himself into an avatar of Akatosh, and then fucks up Mehrunes Dagon. So it's true the Daedra seem to present themselves more commonly, but like, straight up, there's no way to get around the fact that you just Martin turned himself into a fucking dragon at the end of that game. So like, the Aedra do manifest. They're just more subtle than the Daedra. Realistically, though, not considering the Daedra gods is more of a semantics argument. Because like, there's an argument that like, oh, the Daedra didn't. Is this just Soya? The Daedra didn't aid in the creation of the world, but plenty of Daedra have henceforth aided in, like, they've added stuff even though they weren't part of the initial creation process. So I honestly think the argument that, like, the Daedra aren't gods is more of a semantics one. Like, people worship them, they have godly powers, they're basically gods. But the 9 divines are definitely also real. Because you find, obviously Talos was real, right? Like, Tiber Septim was real, but we do know he has godly power because an avatar of him manifests in both Morrowind and in Oblivion. And I believe Mara and Zenithar also manifest in Morrowind. And I think in one of the games, so does Dibella. So, it like, there's always, like, Daedric quests, but the divines are real, they super exist, and they're also super powerful deities. SMT development staff to pray to Masakota every time they make a new SMT game. Your mother asked me to find you. You don't have to worry anymore. Take this. When I trade out one of the older Elder Scrolls games that asked me which siege clone I wanted to run. That's fucking great. Well, the Morrowind... Not Morrowind. Yeah, no, Morrowind, actually. Where? Not the game, the continent. The people of Morrowind, the Dunmer. Back when they were the Chimer. Originally... venerated the 3 Daedric gods, or like 3 specific Daedric gods, of Azura. It was Azura. I keep wanting to say Meridia, and that is wrong. It's the other one that starts with an M. So it's the web spinner, I believe, right? What are the names of the Daedra? They are. Okay, it's Azura, Mafala, and I think the last one was Boethia of all fucking people? Yeah, it was Boethia of all fucking people. What a random assortment of deities. But yeah, so they venerated Ahura, Boethia, and Mephala as the original gods of the Chimer. But then the gods of the Chimer were overthrown when Vivek, Almalexia, and Sotha Sil used the Heart of Loricon to become gods in their own right, and then the major religion switched over to the Tribunal Temple, which, of course, venerated the Almsiv of Almalexia, Vivek, and Sotha Sil. Almsilavi, or whatever. Other than that, there are also specific Khajiit gods. Like, the Khajiit worship this big fuck you cat. And there's whatever the fuck the thing is the Dark Brotherhood worship, which doesn't even, which I believe isn't even a Daedra or an Aedra, it's just some weird eldritch horror murder monster. But speaking of Aedra and Daedra, I did see a recent thread. I did see someone talking about, like, because the Dunmer, like, still, like, revere Kirishima, wasn't it? Playing tag was very entertaining. But it's over now. Yeah, because the Dunmer revere Ahura, Boethia, and Mephala. And the question was like, okay, so like, who are the three actually good Daedra, right? Excuse me. So I'd been thinking about this, and I were to say, if I had to pick three actual good Daedra, I would go Ahura. Ahura can be really fucking vengeful, but the thing is, she's usually almost exclusively beneficial unless you fuck with her. So just don't fuck with her, right? Like, every bad thing I can name of that Ahura did was basically caused by someone provoking her, which seems like it's a very easy thing to not do, right? I would go with Meridia, who's usually pretty, but I mean, she's a bitch. I mean, if you were to list who is the friendliest of the Daedric princes, she would not be on there. But she is usually pretty helpful. She's anti-undead. And she's like the goddess of like light and fucking undead things up and shit, right? So Meridia, and plus she's like the daughter of an Aedra or some shit. She's like half Aedra anyway. She just like kind of fell, I think because she got backstabbed or something. I might be a little shaky in my lore there. So I would go with Meridia, and then for the final one, I definitely would not go with Boethia. I would go with Sanguinius. Is it Sanguine? Because, yeah, a lot of people die because of Sanguine, but it's your fault if you didn't leave the party early enough. Just leave the party, right? That's on you. Who's like revelry and orgies and alcohol and shit like that. And it's like, that's not that bad. That's a pretty good one. So there you go. Those are my three beneficial Daedra. Special mention for Malakath, who's really not that bad of a guy, but I think he's also like the Lord of Betrayal or some bullshit. So speaking of Elder Scrolls, I found people complaining that Todd Howard made Elder Scrolls not D&D. As someone who doesn't like D&D, I'm okay with this. I don't understand the complaint. The idea is that they don't have Todd Howard working on D&D. Todd Howard... I don't like D&D, but I like Record of Lados, or kind of funny how that ended up. Todd Howard doesn't write for Elder Scrolls, though, so him working on D&D wouldn't be helpful. I will say, I'm sure you're not very invested in this, but hey, look, you talked about D&D, we're going to talk about D&D. They're pivoting away in 5th edition to, like, 1D&D, and every single thing I hear about 1D&D sounds actively like they're making the game worse. Like they're like, we're not making the 6th edition of Dungeons and Dragons. They're making 6th edition Dungeons and Dragons. Don't let these fuckers lie to you. And it sounds terrible. They're getting rid of critical hits. Like they've like simplifying like all of the races. I've heard maybe 3 things, I think, that actually sound not awful in 1D&D. I fucking hate every change that they seem to be making. They're mad Elder Scrolls doesn't have virtual dice roll bullshit. Oh! No more playing tag. Everything will disappear now. Both you and me. You should tell him to go play Morrowind, because that's how Morrowind works. He's been a ghost the entire time? 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons does have spell charges, yes. As did 3rd. I've only been playing since, like, 3.5. So I can't tell you anything earlier than 3.5. But yeah, 3.5 and 5 all had spell charges. That was a very short chapter. So wait a minute. Kirishima's been dead the entire time. The only thing we did was get a fucking mask fragment. What the fuck was the point of this? Alright, whatever. That's it. That's the end of the stream. Next one is going to be Chapter 11 and then the final chapter. So next Fatal Frame stream should be the final Fatal Frame stream. Look forward to that. I want to say I'll do it tomorrow, but I guess we'll see. PSP remake of Final Fantasy 1 got rid of spell charges, thank God. No, thank you. I just want to see if there's a summary. There was. Okay. Let's just go through it. Chapter 9, Ceremony of Passage. The scene of the kidnapping was hidden tunnels below Haibara Hospital. The original location of the Ceremony of Passage. The girls were brought there in order to be the Kanade and another Kagura. What was the reason behind the second ceremony? As she follows her memories, her father Soya appears. Chasing her father, Ruka arrives at the house she was born in, the Yomatsuki house. Okay, well, that is it. That is the end of Fatal Frame for tonight. Next one will probably be the last one, hopefully. But no, honestly, that was a good stream. It was a fun time. What a short chapter, honestly. I've got to make a bunch of thumbnails for my new batch of videos. Hey! Wish me good luck, everyone. Alright, well, hope you had a good time. I have been Sacrabalic, your envoy of hope, and say saucy, Chicago. Bye-bye.